This video is not intended for anyone 13 or younger. Hello viewers and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter reaction. I am your humble host, Josh24214, and today we're going to be tackling chapter 286. And where were we in the last week?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh yeah, that fans are basically freaking out that Bakugo may be dead, getting impaled by tendrils of Shigaraki, who now allowed the spirit of All For One to finally possess him, and fans are freaking out that probably Bakugo's dead. So, are the fans right, or is Bakugo just gonna walk out of this, or basically he's out of this fight until the rest of the arc is over? Or will he suffer any long-term damage? So we'll just have to find out and see as we finally tackle chapter 286. So let's see what happens. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. So 3, 2, 1, go. So we continue where we last left off after, well, with Bakugo helping Midoriya not getting impaled by the tendrils, but instead Bakugo getting impaled. And yeah, and Midoriya's kind of surprised at this turn of events. And we get our chapter number for this week. We have chapter number 286 with the title The Ones Within Us by Horikoshi and the usual writers. So let's continue where we left off. As we continue what happens, Bakugo finally starts talking and saying, "Stop trying to win this on your own," as he's just getting impaled by the burnt corpse of Shigaraki being possessed by All For One. As we quickly cut away to Shigaraki's burnt corpse with basically All For One's possessing him, saying, "Cut it out," as he retracts the tendrils after missing Midoriya and getting hit, instead hitting Bakugo. And we're moving on to the next page as we get Bakugo starting to fall down as part of his gauntlet breaks off, as Midoriya's freaking out about this, saying, "Ka." But before he hits the ground, he is alive and saved by Todoroki, who's also helping Endeavor getting to safety, with Todoroki just helping out Bakugo by grabbing one of his legs, as we quickly cut back to the burning corpse that's starting to regenerate of Shigaraki, saying, "My." As he's tried to start regenerating, we continue with Shigaraki saying, "This battle today, so much blood spilt for no good reason." As on the next page, we see Midoriya being shocked by this, that all of this was completely pointless, and that Shigaraki killing all those people, killing everybody with Gran Torino, Bakugo, and all the people he's hurt, they were just getting in the way, with All For One possessing Shigaraki, continues saying, "That last bit being the most pointless of all," implying about Bakugo committing his sacrifice was him to All For One's eyes. He's kind of saying that was entirely pointless. As we get flashback to all the people like Dragon Lady, Manuel, Gran Torino, who we don't know if he's fully dead or not, Aizawa is still alive still, as we get a bit of a reminder from Banjo from all the carnage when Banjo talked about the emotions, saying, "When you use this power out of anger, it'll really start working for you. What really matters is controlling your heart." As after this, Midoriya has the biggest, "You killed them all, you bastard. I am super pissed now." And he's got like the most, "I'm going to kill you, bitch, and I'm going to murder you because you killed all my friends. You asshat. Now you die." And on the next page, we get an epically awesome double page spread of Midoriya going full beast mode and just basically ripping and tearing through All for One's tendrils, ripping and tearing, going full Doom Slayer on his ass, and with demonic eyes, like having Midoriya's eyes being freakishly metal, and just interesting the reader with Midoriya's body language saying, "Yeah, I'm going to rip and tear your ass and make it look like a giant, like I'm going to kill you, and I'm that pissed off," as Shigaraki starts getting mostly his skin back after being flash fried from last chapter. So that's perfectly undone. As we head to the next page, we still see Midoriya being super angry, pissed, as he says, "Take it back," as that's implied for all the insults that All for One's seeing. And as we get for the next two panels, we get a shot of Shigaraki just having his scar over his face. And for the next page, we get a full page spread of very artistically art as we see that split face starts to open up as we see All for One as he really is, and this is more of a metaphor of All for One being inside Shigaraki, and basically All for One is in the driver's seat. And really good damn creepy art of body horror, Horikoshi. I hope we get to see more of that body horror to see more in the future as we move on to the next page. We don't get another the continuation of the fight. We quickly cut away to Stario City, Osaka Prefecture, as we get the news chopper chopping in as we see Giga's armor form still going towards his master, Shigaraki at this point, with the news announcer taking over with more carnage on the way, saying, "The villain is rampaging through Sarto, as if nothing's even there. He's destroying everything. Ah, did you see that? Ah, run, ma'am. You have to run." As we get into, as we, after that, we quickly cut to Giga and as he going through in his armored form. We go inside his inner monologue, and he starts thinking in his head that "Master's scent, I smell too." As I think this is all talking about Midoriya, and this is probably a metaphor bringing up the theory of Midoriya and Shigaraki at this point, bringing them up again. As that weirdness is rudely interrupted, we cut to Jakku City suburbs as we get more of the news network continuing saying, "The rescue squads and the police will escort the civilians of Jakku. Heroes will proceed to intercept the giant villain. All evacuation reliefs and battle teams get moving. The heroes fighting Shigaraki do not know the whole situation." Oh, I guess this is someone else. Never mind. "The heroes fighting Shigaraki don't know the whole situation. Comms are still down, so we can't get in touch with them. Pass the message." As we see Ida, Froppy, and Uraraka as we continue more of the text saying, "Let's move on the double. Any lives can be saved, just must be saved." As we continue on the next page, we cut away to Uraraka's inner monologue as she thinks to herself, "Feels like nothing has gone better," as we get multiple flashbacks of the insanity of seeing Shigaraki the first time, the forest training arc and after the aftermath of All for One versus All Might, as she continues her narration saying, "Ever since then, it's like the days are longer and the shadows have grown." As we continue with Uraraka looking at something as she says, "You guys," as we quickly cut away back to Shoto as he's freaking out about something. And on the next panel, we see that Shigaraki's finally getting his busted hand, and he's about to touch Midoriya's face. And that does not sound good. So, yeah, while Midoriya's still pissed off about all the insults, as we cut to the next page, as we see we cut away to Todoroki as he shouts to Midoriya saying, "Midoriya!" as Shigaraki finally grabs Midoriya's face, as we see Midoriya freaking out about it, and we have Shigaraki continuing, and mostly the text is back to normal, saying, "Finally, I got a hold of you. One for all is mine." As we get a weird effect of usually cracks or something, like weird lines from Midoriya's, like it's sucking towards Shigaraki.
Crazy.
As we see, mostly Shigaraki's face is mostly fixed, as he still's got that massive scar. But we get rudely interrupted as we go to the mind world, or the spectral realm, where Midoriya's mostly still covered in shadow, but the most new parts that he's got both of his hands and his torso, but only like part of his leg is showing. As Midoriya realizes where he is in the spectral realm, as he says to himself, "This place," as we see a giant pool of darkness spreading out, coming out in tendrils. As we see on the next page, we see Midoriya looking at that spawn, as we see a figure above, a figure ahead, with Midoriya saying, "Shigaraki?" As we get closer, we see Shigaraki and All for One being there. And we have Midoriya realizing, no, it's him, as he's referring to All for One, as All for One starts speaking. "You stay in here, stay in there." And I think that Shigaraki's talking, saying, "You stay in there." As we get a much closer look at the union between All for One and Shigaraki, and it's basically more body horror, as All for One is like trying to come out of Shigaraki, as Shigaraki's trying to keep it together. As we get All for One getting more of the dialogue, saying, "Don't be like that, Tomura. Besides, I clearly had to lend you my strength. You nearly burned to cinders, and even after surviving that, you would have been pummeled to your death." As we quickly cut back to the next page, with cutting an argument starting to form with Shigaraki saying, "Just shut up already. It's like I said, Master. I'm running the show now. This is my dream." As Midoriya's kind of shocked at this, seeing this weird abomination of body horror. 2 in 1 chapter. That's gotta be a record for Horikoshi. As Midoriya tries to go towards Shigaraki, Midoriya in the spectral realm just basically fell down to the ground, and basically he can't walk in this plane. As Midoriya tries to basically crawl towards him, Midoriya is rudely interrupted by someone with a glove touching Midoriya's head, as the mysterious person says, "You can't move in this world yet." As we see on the final page, we get a double-page spread, and the mysterious figure who comes to Midoriya's aid is Nana Shimura in the spectral realm, with her proclaiming, "So let us handle this. implying that the other six or seven are going to join in this fight against with Nana and the other 7 users are going to do battle with this chimera abomination.
No. Not alone.
And that's the end of the chapter with really good, awesome art with Nana finally coming out of the spectral realm, and Midoriya finally gets to meet Nana in person, well, in the spectral realm. With the next chapter will be coming out in October 11th, so we only have to wait until next week. So that this feels like this is going to be, they're going to start the finale in the spectral realm. So yeah, I can't wait for the next chapter to come out, and we may get to see the other 7 in action as they fight this Shigaraki and All for One hybrid and try to get Shigaraki out of Midoriya, so Shigaraki does not get One for All and One for All for One and One for All will become Unison and be stuck in an egg and make Shigaraki basically a god, basically. So, can't wait for that. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next week for the next chapter. And I can't wait. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.